One of the hardest things about having students in groups is making sure they're focused and on task.
We have no idea what you're talking about.
Now, the way to solve that problem, and this is the word I want you to kind of put into your mind, is this: accountability. You gotta find ways to keep students accountable in their groups. Inevitably, groups themselves tends to lead to more disruptions and so forth. Just because the nature of it, right? Groups already built for them to talk to each other. And so that kind of leads to more disruptive behavior. And so you need to have accountability built into your lessons, into your class, in order to make sure that these groups are focused. You see, 3 weeks ago, I decided to change up my classroom. For a long time, I had my students in rows and everything else. Beginning of the year, they were in rows. And things were going great. There was no problem with it at all. But I thought, I want to try something new. I've always heard about student talk collaboration, so I really want to see if it made a difference. So I revamped everything. I changed everything up. And so now my students are in groups. But I know that by being in groups, you got to worry about that off-taskness. Is that even a word? Off-taskness. And so I had to make sure I created things, structures, systems in my classroom that will hold kids accountable. So the first one is this, and that is roles. Students need to have roles. Each student has a certain role in the group. Now, I'm sure you already heard about this, and if you do any kind of group work, I'm sure you do that already. And so that's one thing I had to make sure. But I actually went to the next level on these roles, and I actually had students write down what role they wanted, and then I actually gave them a detailed thing of what that description of that role was, as well as qualities that would make them good at that. In fact, if you want to, I'll put a link down below to the document I have that I actually gave to my students. But when I started this 3 weeks ago, I knew I had to define what each role was going to be. And so students they choose their own role, but they're going to be accountable for certain things. And there's certain things that's more harder, I guess, than the other. But either way, that is one stage of the accountability. The other accountability I have built into my lessons, into my class, is that the students' grades are directly connected to the group grade. If they're going to be individual grades, what's the point of having them work in groups for the most part, right? So their grade is connected with the group. That gives them more of an incentive to work together on things. I'll give you an example of how this looks. In my class, after students complete a lesson, they're given a small quiz. They're given a small quiz. But that small quiz is going to have two grades. The grade of how they do on the quiz, and then the grade of the group. Those two things combined will give them their overall grade for that particular quiz. So they have their incentive to do well, but then also incentive to make sure the group does well. But those two things combined give them the grade for that quiz. So they know, and I go over all this time and time again, that your grade is connected to the group. So you got to make sure everybody in the group knows the stuff. Otherwise, it's going to affect your grade. So that's the other part of the accountability, is connect the grade with the group. A third thing is give them immediate feedback. And so here's how my lessons play out. And once again, if you want to see the entire process of how I lesson plan, or the entire process of why I'm even doing group work, I'll put links down below to the other videos that kind of show the entire process and why I'm even doing group work to begin with. But with all that said, the other part of it is immediate feedback. And so here's how a normal period will look in my class, a normal day. Students will come in, they'll sit down, I'll tell them what we're doing, and then I give them about 10 minutes or so to do some reading out of the book. And then when that's done, I'll give them about another 10 minutes to study as a group. And then when that's done, I give them about 10 minutes to take a fast quiz on what they just read and talked about. And then when that's done, I give them about 10 minutes to reflect upon how the group did. I actually will pass out to them the grades of everybody in the group, so they can see who's struggling with the material, who's not struggling with the material, who has it, who doesn't have it. That way they can strategize on helping each other out and actually help each other out in the future quizzes. But that immediate feedback is golden. Some of the response I get from the students is great. Because think about it, if I didn't give them results back to 2-3 days, they forgot what they did 2-3 days ago. And so the fact to give it to them right away is a game changer. So give them that immediate feedback when possible. And a fourth thing I do to keep kids accountable is that teacher versus student. Here's what I mean by that. And you can call it different things. You can do it a little differently. But my incentive I have for my students is this. if the group, every group starts with 3 points for the day. So every group starts with 3 points for the day. And I have a whole system. Now I'll show you on the board what it looks like. It looks a little complicated at first, but it's really easy to get down once you have something like it. And you don't do exactly what I do. But each group starts with 3 points. And then when they group for the day, and then when a group gets to 25 points, they don't have homework the next week. So the incentive is to get to 25 points. They don't have homework the next week. So in essence, if a class is on point for a week and a half, 2 weeks, then they don't have homework the week after that. And there's some other things tied into it as well, and I give some little other incentives along the way. But that's kind of the gist of it. Now, 2 things about this. First of all, I'm not saying the system is necessarily rigged, but I know what homework I have. And the homework, it is enrichment. So that's the key. The homework has to be enrichment. Because if a kid earns no homework, I don't want them to be hurt because they didn't get the information or material. So the homework is kind of added material above and beyond what we're learning in the class. So that's the first thing about it, is you got to make sure it's not necessarily something that's focused on in tests or something else of that sort. And the other part is this: since they get points per group, if one student is being disruptive in that group, the whole group loses points. This gives the group an incentive to help regulate each other. And I gotta tell you, this actually works way better than you think it would. Don't get me wrong, you're still going to have some groups off task, and more often than not, there's some groups I had to talk about possibly dismantling a group so they can't get focused. But more often than not, if I put a mark on there, I said, group 5, come on man, get together, they'll usually regulate each other. So that is the beauty of the system. So you have all these things built in, and then you have that on top of it, and you have all these layers of accountability, and from that, you get better behavior. From that, you have better group work.
So let me show you what I mean by the teacher versus student. Now, I know, trust me on this one, it looks a little confusing at first, and it was a little confusing for me at first as well. Before, it was a little easier. Before, when I just had the class, forget everything on the right-hand side here. When I just had the class where it says teacher, student, right here on the left-hand side, all I did is I gave students 6 points, and everything went well. They kept those 6 points. But now that I have groups, I'm specialized a little bit more, and so now I'm going to ignore that on the left-hand side and just look at these little graphs over here. And what this is, these are my groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And each group starts with 3 points. And then if something goes astray, let's say group 7, they're talking a little bit, I'll put a mark on group 7. So that means instead of getting 3 points, they now have 2. And it just goes from there. And then what I do with that information is I take that and I do a running total on my back of my board right over here. All right. Now, like I said, trust me, at first it looks really confusing, and you don't have to go this much detail at all. The point is, what you want to create is some sort of incentive for each group to do well, with some sort of reward, whatever that might be. And so I won't go into detail of it all looks there, but I definitely understand it, and even at this point in time, my students understand it as well. So the key is some sort of incentive for each group.
When I started this group work experiment 3 weeks ago, the question I had is it worth it? Because I had to recreate everything. Because I had it down. I've been doing this 20-something years. I had it down pat what was going on. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Is it really going to be worth it? Do students really get more out of group work? Now, I'll be honest with you. At this point in time, I don't know the answer. What I have done is I've gone back through my previous 4 years of tests for students, compare that with this class right here, and then I'm going to compare the next 3 tests, how they do on these next 3 tests as a group versus how the other classes did without the group the previous years. If they show a huge improvement, if they show huge scores or great scores for the next 3 tests, then I know there's something great about this group work. If they don't, then I know it's not really worth it, at least the time and effort in my opinion. So whether or not, I don't know. But there have been some moments that have just made me smile. I'll give you an example. 3 examples here. And so whether or not it's worth it all, I don't know. But here are 3 stories that I think to myself, I wouldn't have got these otherwise. One story is I have this one group of girls, 5 girls, and when it comes time to work together, they do great. Oh my gosh, they do great. I actually hear them talking to each other. However you picture it being the best, they are on it. They're talking, and they're doing notes and everything else. And then when they get the test results back, boom, they all have A's. But before the holidays, there's this one girl in the group that kept getting F's on the quizzes. And so they worked with her. And next thing you know, her as long as the other students are getting A's. And you see it, they get the scores back. They're like, oh yeah, they're so happy for each other, all smiling. It was great. It was just great. Then have the same thing, but with some young men. Now, same thing. Students get the scores, but it's more of a competition with them. Oh, what'd you get? Oh, I got higher than you. It's more of a competition. But same thing with that group. I saw their scores get better with that particular group. And I remember one time they were so happy about it, they started high-fiving each other and everything else. And the third thing that I think is great was this. I tell students, if someone's not working in a group, you can get rid of them. And so one group decided to get rid of a student because they thought he would score low on the quizzes. And so we take our first quiz, and go figure, he actually scored higher than everybody else in that group. And so that group actually asked him to come back. And what I told that student, I think it's just a quote from Kobe, is that boos don't stop dunks. And I told that student, I said, hey man, you just keep scoring well. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You just do it for yourself. And then eventually they're going to realize how good you are. And that's exactly what happened. So whether or not this works or whether or not it's worth it, I'll keep you posted. We'll throw some more videos down the way, so you can see the overall results and my overall conclusion about everything. But in the meantime, let's leave you with that.